Hey, I was about to write something complaining. I was about to blog something complaining, and I thought about the fact that complaining isn't really cool or acceptable. Where do you go? Where is it safe to complain? And I thought therapy is where a person is allowed to complain. And this is my therapy because it's free. So I decided to fire up the Twitch stream. I haven't done it in a while. Um, I feel like venting or complaining about how society takes artists for granted. Um, but before I get to that, I have to get comfortable. Oh, and by the way, I mean, I suppose there's one good thing. So I like Twitch because they encourage streams to go for hours and hours, so that the stream can get discovered. But I don't Twitch the right way because I don't. Um, I'm not about chatting or building a community within Twitch because I don't hang out on Twitch. I use this for the free server space, and because okay, so I have such little money and I'm so energy conscious that I don't run the AC. So I've got fans. So that detracts from the sound quality. So I wear these. When I wear these, I cannot choose if I were recording on for some reason it works for Twitch, but it doesn't work for Instagram or if I just wanted to record an iPhone video, both of those two, Instagram and the video in the phone, would use the microphone on the phone. I've fallen for that numerous times thinking that I'm recording with so this is noise canceling. So you shouldn't be hearing, it should be isolating my voice and you shouldn't be hearing the background fans. But if I switch to ambient, just regular microphone, it would be like, this is, like I said, this is my sort of small talk BS to get myself into the topic of what I'm sad about. Oh, and like a true therapy session, this one will can only go about less than an hour, um, because I have a telehealth appointment in an hour. Um, Yesterday I shared a what am I complaining about? I'm complaining about capitalism. I'm complaining about money. I'm complaining about the internet. Um, I hope to do it in a productive way. I mean, I'm 52, apparently. I don't complain just to complain. I've learned a few things. I That's why I say it's therapy. I try to complain for to reach uh understanding, to talk through issues. I might cry. I think it's a good thing to do. I'm in a chair that rocks, and I'm not 100% sure how I feel about that. Maybe I'll get my ice pack out. My telehealth appointment is a follow up on the last time I got injections on my back. It's something I've been trying for about a year, not even, but I'm about ready to give up on them. I don't think that even though it's someone else's money, mostly. I mean, nothing's free, right? There's something. I don't have agency in certain things uh, because it's someone else's money. And except for those COVID payments, which were wonderful, the um, the government takes doesn't allow people to have agency when they give money. Um, it's a, I mean, I've sort of, it's Disability Awareness Month, I think, and I think I've become aware of the fact that I'm disabled. But just like times in my life when I've paid into unemployment and then become unemployed, or the fact that I make so little that I should probably be on Medicaid or food stamps. I don't do those things because I've tried some of them. I feel more I feel better going to a food charity where it's just given with no questions asked than the shit that the government that has the largest source of money, the biggest ability to offer help, offers, provide is the most agency demeaning or whatever. Like, um, and it doesn't matter if the money comes from the federal government; it's administered by the states, which I think is a flaw of our system and basically evil. In the state of Florida, I would have to be like applying for 3 jobs a day or something, and show proof and all this shit to get these benefits. Well, I don't want a shitty job because number one, some of the shitty jobs I had definitely contributed to my physical disability. Not that I would get paid, but I just mean like sitting at a desk, hunching over a computer. Um, but they definitely contributed to my mental health uh, disability. And leaving the kinds of jobs that I've had has been an improvement on my mental health. It's sort of it's defensive for me to say my mental health is good while I'm complaining and telling you that I'm not happy right now today. Um, Nowadays, I am not happy to be in physical pain and to not have affordable access to health care. In the past, I suffered mental disability and I couldn't tell you what I was not happy about. Do you see the difference? Um, so, like, I do not believe that I suffer depression anymore, something that I've suffered my entire life, because, I mean, it's hard to explain without getting really, I don't have like automatic thoughts. What's the term? I don't know. Maybe I'll think of it. I'm gonna refill my tea, but you can still hear me because I'm using Twitch and it's synced to these headphones and I can talk on them wherever I go. Yay, yay, yay. Um, Maybe I mean compulsive thoughts. Well, and maybe it'll be easier for me to say it when I'm not looking at you, but I I mean depression for me was like repeatedly, it's hard to say. Okay. Have you ever had compulsive thoughts? Like what would be hmm, okay, I'll start with this. There are times when I need to remember something, and I might say, milk, bread, cheese, and ice cream, whatever. Um, mm, that's different because I'm wanting that. Maybe it's like when a commercial is stuck in your head and you don't want the thought. You ever try to fall asleep and thoughts are going through your head that you don't want? Well, when I was depressed, the thoughts that went through my head were I hate myself and I wish I was dead. And I don't, that is nothing, that I am not, I don't experience that anymore. When things go wrong, I don't think, oh, it's because somebody hates me or whatever. I don't know. It's hard to, like I said, justification and defense and all that is, it's negative to talk about negatives. It's easier just to say what I said at the beginning, to not get into specifics and just say that now when I feel sad, I know why I'm sad, and in the past, I would feel sad and not know why I was sad. And that was scarier because I felt out of control. It's the difference between like saying I don't know who I want to be, I don't know what matters to me, I don't know what who I am or what I think or what I want. I mean, to me, that is that went along with my depression that I no longer feel. Whereas now I can say I'm sad because I know who I am and what I want, and I'm an artist, I'm a creator, and I have uh, like no doubts about it. And what I'm sad about is that it doesn't make me a living, and I don't like the society that I live in, that I don't see my values uh, reflected in the society in which I live, by the society in which I live. And like, okay, so I have a friend who gets concerned because I don't have a lot of contact with others. And this is seen as a sign of, I'm tired of saying the word depression. Let's just say mental illness. Wait, that's worse. Um, okay, so like, okay, I'll say a joke. I worked and eventually ran uh, the humor magazine, my college humor magazine, the Princeton Tiger, since 1880. Wow. I would have, in the past, I would have known that. One, um, uh, like, if my phone weren't recording this, I would look it up because now I want to know. Oh, it would be more fun to go find an issue somewhere that I have somewhere in this house. Uh, Whatever. All that stuff used to matter to me, but the reason I brought it up is that, I mean, now, like, well, it is a good example. So fewer things matter to me, like, oh, Princeton and being smart or thinking that you're smart or achieving within a system that, is upheld by society. I don't believe in all that. Um, so like someone could say, "Wow, Rob's really lost touch with reality." um, but I've wanted to be a creator, and I've been creating, and I'm not achieving uh, monetary results or societal recognition, or even when I was achieving social recognition, it wasn't making a living. So like maybe I'm describing burnout. It's like, okay, so I went through like all the times of being positive, and so what have I changed? Am I negative on myself? No, I'm negative on my society, which I think, I mean, maybe that's a definition of some sort of craziness, but I think it is accurate. I think it is balanced, and I think it is uh, individually like sort of healthy. That um, I don't doubt what I do. I doubt that it has a value to society because that's the feedback that I get. But you know, if I really, I don't know, if I were under oath, I would say it does have a value to society, but people aren't recognizing it. I think that there needs to be people who are exploring ideas and transforming them into art and doing things for reasons other than commerce. I'm doing chores. I'm making tea while I'm talking to you, of course. The easiest chore for me to do in my life is to heat up the water in the microwave and then throw a tea bag in it. And tomorrow I'll have more iced tea. Um, So I just feel like I'm seeing reality, and that's uh, good. I think, well, first of all, I think religion is delusional, and the majority of people believe in that. I think it's delusional to think, oh, if I just keep trying, I'm going to make it. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm looking at some particularly beautiful clouds right now. I'm not saying it's a bad idea to have. I mean, this is what I'm struggling with because I want to apply for my city has announced sizable grants, and I'm afraid to apply for them and not get them because I really need them. But I'm afraid I can't sort of play the game or do the dance or even just present positivity. Uh, and I'm bitter because I feel like, look, I've already done the work. I've got 30 years of work, and if you pay me, you're just paying. It's back pay, and you know, and the grant is like a pittance of what I should be paid. So, okay, so that's arrogance, I guess, that, oh my gosh, I think my work is so great that I deserve to make a living. Um, so what does that mean? Well, I believe that every human being is valuable and that we shouldn't throw people away, which is why I can't be capitalist. I mean, we're not only throwing people away, we're throwing away, uh, we're destroying living conditions for millions of people, if not billions of. I mean, we're destroying the whole planet. So eventually, we're on this project to hurt billions of people for money, and that's considered sort of normal and in touch with reality. And my views would be considered, extremist and delusional. So I feel like, just take your pick. You can be a Christian and a capitalist and think that your ways are in line with reality and that my ways are Looney Tunes, or you can be me. And I think y'all be crazy, and I'm doing fine up here. I'm not doing fine in terms of income or health, uh, medical care, healthcare. So a friend talked me into going to the doctor where I've been receiving these treatments. And at this point, I would say like only a fourth of them do any good at all. And they just cost too much money for that rate of return. I think one of the things that used to help me a lot was yoga. And I stopped going during COVID, and I don't go for financial reasons. But the person who pays for these treatments isn't a yoga goer. So, anyway, like, I guess I feel awkward because it's like I'm asking for free things, but if someone sponsored me to have a yoga membership, I would go. Um, maybe the problem, it's going to beep soon. Maybe the problem is that when I talk about being against society or being against religion or being against capitalism, maybe it might rub some people the wrong way because it sounds like I am a know-it-all or I think I know more than everyone else, and I don't. I only know my. There's the beep. I only know. By the way, I love it when I have a fairly accurate sense of time. That just feels nice. Oops, pushed the wrong button. I don't know where the buttons are. Okay, so um, I'll have to get up one more time, and when I do, I'll come back with the ice pack. And this time I have to get up in 3 minutes or 2.5 from now. Um, oh, so like I have ADHD, I have a lot of diagnoses, and I'm not on any drugs for them. And I'm just sort of going a different route to get to where I want to be. So it's not that I think I know it all, it's that I think that I want to live in a world in which we are allowed to have differences of opinion, even about really big things like religion or economic systems or, you know, the proper treatment for psychological, let's say, I'll say mental health. Because I mean, before I said mental health, the first phrase that came to my mind was psychological disorders, and then mental disorders and and then I realized that what I wanted to say was mental health because I'm so what's working for me or the way that I want things to work for me is to transform my language so that I'm not disorder focused, I'm health focused. I believe that neurodiversity, which, neurodivergence is considered, I'm neurodivergent. Like, I diverge from neurotypical. I diverge from the norm. But, um, but the, but diversity is good. I believe neurodiversity is good. Why do I think it's good? Because I think it is, because it is the way things are. It's inevitable. So, why fight it? I mean, it's impossible to fight. Um, yes, for various conditions, there are drugs, blah blah blah. What I'm saying is, I believe for me that changes in lifestyle, changes in how I think, can address the same issues without drugs. Some of the drugs that I've been on in the past have had consequences I don't like. Like, okay, a lot of people seem to think skylines are beautiful, and I was just looking and thinking how ugly these piles of concrete are. And then, like, oh, but some of them are glass. Well, they're not pretty either. So there's a difference of perspective. I mean, like, so there's sort of a motivated reasoning. Well, we have to have buildings or live in buildings. Like, I think the building I live in is ugly. Um, but maybe, maybe it's painful for people to have those thoughts, so they decide to love them instead. Or maybe people genuinely love them. I don't know, but can we at least admit that there's room for a diversity of opinion about it? Um, if I want to say that every building higher than the tree line is ugly, I think that's a valid opinion. I want there to be room for and respect for opinions that diverge from the norm. I want that to be included in the message of art. And all right, now I forgot to get my ice pack, but also I just want to stand up. So I'm going to have to make an adjustment. Of course, I'm using a broken tricorder tripod, so nothing is easy. Could be higher. Nothing is real. I don't like the Beatles very much. I don't deny that they're great. I never want to listen to their music. Maybe I've just heard it too much. Strawberry fields forever. All right. Doing tasks can be, really good for mental health because thinking about problems all the time, well, that is frustrating. I can't change. That's in a Beatles song too, right? We all want to change the world. I feel alright. Maybe the Beatles are in my head because I watched the Lindsay Ellis video recently. That'll come down the next time it's breezy, but I probably won't have these doors open until September or October. So I'll deal with that bridge when I burn it. Oh, I was about to sit down. I have all my outside furniture inside because they're supposed to be doing work on my balcony, but they miscommunicated to me, and the work on my, I mean, I've got my back problems, I've got other issues, uh, and I took the time to move all this stuff inside, and now, now they first said they were going around the building this way, and now they're telling me they're going around the building this way, and they won't get to my balcony to do work on until, well, they won't say, but my guess is September or October. So just about the time that I want to use it, it will be unusable. I mean, there's something like I could complain about or be mad about, but those are just things. Those are just circumstances. Sort of like accidents. I get mad at intentional things that are cruel or harmful. But then I was thinking, when I said intentional, that made me think about the fact that carelessness that wounds really bugs me. And that's kind of like where I get back around to artists are um, taken for granted. Artists are taken for granted. So I was starting to do a post, and for some reason, even though I'm sure I could have written it faster than I've been doing this, for some reason I stopped and I was like, no, I'll do it in a video instead of doing it in writing. For some reason I thought that'd be easier, but like I said, it would have been shorter if I had written it. But writing can be really excruciating. And while I've been talking, I've made tea and drank tea and stood up and stretched, and I wouldn't be having these experiences if I had written. And I'm gonna have the video here on Twitch, and then I'll have it on YouTube, and then I'll share it other places. So maybe there's some logic in doing it as a video instead of writing. And also, as I said at the very beginning, uh, if I'm going to complain, I should do it in therapy, and my therapy is this Twitch stream. So, but I'll describe the blog post. So I was thinking about sharing a painting, and then I would say that artists aren't appreciated, and like so weirdly, this relates to things that anybody shares on the internet, even journalists or whatever, paywalls. Like no one can figure out how to make a living, it seems. Um, but as an artist, someone will say they like a work. Okay, that's great, but it also doesn't put food on my family. But you know, um, and I don't know what to do because I'm supposed to be positive and I'm supposed to be touched, and I am touched when someone likes what I do. But I'm also uh, kind of destitute. So this one's been around for a long time. I can use this one as my blog post slash example. Ow! I just hurt my ear. So this painting hung in an event space when someone was starting a new business, and they wanted art. Okay. So when these types of things happen, I'm supposed to feel grateful that I'm getting this opportunity to have my art shown on a wall that, you know, that people will see it, where people will see it. And it's a wall, unlike the studio, you know, it was a lot less busy than this. It was a, you know, not so much a gallery, but I'm over describing. We all know we've been places. We see art in restaurants, we see art in hair salons, we see art in, you know, everywhere we go. So it would be a lie for me to say that the same painting has hung in every different place. Uh, but the point that I'd like to make is, I mean, this painting I know for a fact has hung at least two different places. Um, but for the sake of pretend, I'm going to say that because this painting is old, so it's been a lot of different places. So for the sake of pretend, I'm going to say that this one painting has hung in an event space, in a restaurant, in the airport, in City Hall, in a hair salon, and in my building common space. During all that time, I made $0 over the course of 10 years. In the case of the restaurant, two owners who knew me, sort of, we're not friends, but reached out to me and they were renovating, redoing, you know, their restaurant, which had been busy, and they were making it more elegant. And they thought my art would be perfect for their like nicest room. And of course, I'm excited and touched, and it's a nice restaurant where, you know, rich people go, and I'm allowed to put up tags with prices or whatever. Doesn't, you know, fast forward, doesn't lead to a sale. Oh, wait, no, it did lead to a sale. It led to a sale of their restaurant. What I didn't know was that they were making cosmetic change. They were staging their restaurant. They were making cosmetic changes to the restaurant because they wanted out. So they sold it. Presumably, they made a lot of money. I, of course, got nothing. When I hang my art when I hung my art at the airport, again, great honor, right? Not only do I not get money, I actually lose money because the airport is far away and I'm renting a truck to transport, you know, big pieces to the airport. And then while it's there, I spend money to have, I mean, other artists and I chip in, but again, I'm spending money to have like a spread because, you know, two nights we did little receptions. So I'm supposed to feel honored. I guess I do, but I come out, you know, somewhere around negative $300. Um, oh, I left out my art hung in a store. Again, I like the store, I like the owner, everything's great. While my art is hanging in that store, there's a show. Well, actually, that's happened twice. My friends show up, and the sorry, I'm getting texts. Have some respect. Um, my friends show up. Um, there were some art products that I did make some money, but because it was sold in the store got 50% just for handling transactions of selling my art to my friends. And while my friends were there, they bought tons of shit from the store. So it's really an event to get people to come into the store off of my mailing list. This is the opposite of the way like the gallery system is supposed to work. The gallery system is supposed to, like, a gallery has a clientele, and then they discover an artist and they bring the artist in, and then the gallery has the mailing list and they bring in the clientele, and then the um the art, then the cut is legitimate. I mean, like, it makes sense for the gallery to take whatever the cut is that they take because they connected the buyer and the artist. Um, in the few experiences that I've had, it's been my people who have come and they're like, "Oh, I'm in this space. As long as I'm here, I'll buy it," and then I lose out than if they had just bought it from me directly. And I'm running out of time, and so what I really want to say is when it hangs in a space, what would be so wrong with the space, whether I mean, a commercial business or a government building like the airport or town hall, city hall. I do live in a town. It thinks it's a city, but it's a small town, at least in its mindset. But what would be or like my building. So my art is hanging on the hall of my building, and there are some benefits to this. If I want to, I can bring people and, like, I have this sort of mini gallery, whatever. That hasn't actually, I mean, that's happened maybe once, but I I wasn't charged, like, if we had purchased art, then I would have been charged, a fraction of the price, but instead we got free art from me, and then I get to look at art I like when I'm going to and fro. So all those things are benefits, but I mean, what would be the harm in if the 10 other people on this hall became patrons at like $2 a month? It's sad, but like $20 a month, there's about 10 other people, would be significant to me, or at least I would look at it and know, oh, they appreciate I'm loaning art, they're giving me a token amount of money. I mean, same with a business, you know, what would be wrong if a restaurant or a hair salon uh, paid 10, $20 a month during the time period that they had the art hanging on the wall? Um, you know, does $20 a month really make a huge difference in my finances? Probably not. Does it make a difference in my self-esteem? Yes, because it would say that this is something that we want and we respect you. We respect what you're doing. We don't think that it's just for free. We don't think that you just have to loan it out. Um, and as long as I'm paying this, um, it's a relationship versus what happens is you put something on loan somewhere, and then one day they give you very short notice because, oh, we've decided to renovate, or we have a new artist, or and then you feel like, well, did they ever really want it up in the first place? I mean, artists are treated like shit. That was my theme. Society takes artists for granted, and I'm sick of it. And I wish that this video could be my application for the grant and just say, give me the fucking $10,000 because I've already earned it. Just give it to me. I don't need to jump through whatever hoops you're going to make me jump through. It's 50 minutes. That's a therapy session. Do I feel improved? Maybe. I mean, not everything has to be for a point. That's the point of my art. I didn't cry, but I felt like it the whole time, and I still do. It's funny crying. Like, I'm looking at a boat go by, and like, maybe there's types of crying. There's like, I feel like I have to have release in order to cry, and I haven't felt that. I maybe I will after I turn it off and like lie down. But I don't weep. I think I should, but I don't. I do this instead, or I do this instead. But I haven't been doing as much of this lately because I don't have the room for it and nobody wants it. Or if they want it, they can't afford it, or they don't have room for it, or whatever. I mean, when people say they can't afford something, so then I make things a range, and I make the range so huge, it's like, well, I'd have to measure it, but it would be like from 180 to $500, just something wild. But it doesn't lead to increased sales. Besides, well, I mean, here's the problem. I'm lying. I wouldn't go as low as 180 for this. So I guess my problem is I'm just uppity and I think that I no, but like I have a formula and I would measure it and I mean, and the truth is uh I would probably say that this is like 400 to $900. And that's not what people are going to pay. And what I would actually say is the reason that I can't sell art is that if someone is just looking for color on their wall, well, I mean, they could do it themselves, but they can go to a store and buy something for, 50 bucks. And the fact that the store is exploiting workers and the supply chain is exploiting workers and the production line in another country is exploiting workers, like all those costs are hidden slash uh, denied by the buyer. And when you buy something from me, I put all the costs up front. And I say, I mean, they're there. You see them because I say when I say, I mean, I don't know if I still write this, but I used to say when I had a full price, I would say something like $900 is the retail price at which I could make a living. Like if you're not buying it at the full price, then I'm not making a living. But I'm willing to give you a discount anyway. So, 400, I'll take it. I mean, at this point, 300, I'll take it. So maybe that's what I need to do. I used to go from 50% to 100% as the range, but maybe I need to go from 30% to 100%. But I still don't think, I mean, nothing makes people buy. And when somebody does want to buy, then often those people have the money and like a high price they see as like this token, this badge of wealth or fanciness. Some people want to pay a lot for art. I can think of a piece that I sold for 2 or 3 thousand that um, it was the environment. that made that. It was, and the wealth of the buyer. Oh, and but then like also, I mean, this particular case was like a really rich guy just stroking a check, and I could have said any number, but oh, but the thing about that is this guy's so rich, I don't trust him. Like he could have thrown it away by now. Like it's nice when somebody actually connects with the work. This guy just wanted something. And we were in Art Basel, and I wasn't showing there, but after being primed and looking at like art all day long and all those and the high prices, this guy like sees my stuff and is like, "Oh, it's just as good as all that." And I'm like, "Yeah, it is. What all that is about is marketing and name recognition, and they'll tell you it's an investment, and maybe it is, but only as long as you believe in it. It's like a bubble. Everything's a bubble." All right. I just don't know what to do, but like if people could afford it, just paid me two, three, five, seven, $10 a month, I would feel so much better. And it would make a big difference in my life. But I guess I'm not providing enough value. And I have to go. Stay strong.